His Excellency, former President Grimson, and other distinguished guests, good afternoon. It gives me great joy to address you today, speaking on a topic that is close to my heart and the hearts of many that I represent. The face and name of climate crisis is found in the millions of people, children, women, men, whose lives and livelihoods have been jeopardized by the impacts of climate change. It is also found in the massive loss of biodiversity, the stark reality of floods, droughts, and rising sea levels. While climate change is a global phenomenon, some parts of the world, like my own continent, Africa, are much more affected due to existing geographical, economic, social, and political vulnerabilities. Like the other developing regions of the world, Africa has contributed little, estimated 4%, to the global greenhouse emissions. Yet, many countries in Africa are among the most affected by the impacts of the climate crisis. We see this in recurrent droughts, flooding, and changing weather patterns on the continent. Africa continues to experience widespread loss and damage due to human-induced climate change. The results are extensive loss of biodiversity, water shortages, reduced food production, displacement, famine, conflict over resources, loss of lives and livelihoods, and negative economic growth. It is also estimated that 26% of the total of internally displaced people in Africa are on the move because of disasters due to extreme weather events. 3 years ago, climate activists in Iceland bid farewell to the OK Glacier with a powerful yet painful ceremony. I have read the poem written on that occasion, in quote, "A Letter to the Future," and I read, "This monument is to acknowledge that we know what is happening and what needs to be done. Only you know if we did it," end of quote. A powerful reminder of our responsibility to current and future generations which received worldwide attention. Glaciers matters. We have for a long time seen them as immutable and powerful indicators of the viability of human life on Earth. Now they are shrinking and disappearing. People and communities also matter. A single life lost because of the climate crisis is one life too many. A single village lost is one too many. A single species of plants, animals, and insects lost is one too many. And I don't see much room for negotiation or compromise here. We need actions, not words. What should we say to the people living in a village that the future in terms of food security is bleak because the crops have failed repeatedly, the rain does not come or comes down too hard, to a people who have lost hope and feel completely abandoned by those with leadership responsibilities? The Lutheran World Federation is a global communion of 149 churches in 99 countries. The Evangelical Lutheran Church of Iceland is one of our members. Some of the LWF churches know the effects of the climate crisis quite well. For them, it is a matter of life and death. As people of faith, we have a unique understanding and appreciation of the nature and creation. we know that we are called to live in harmony with creation and not to abuse, misuse, or recklessly exhaust it. We believe that creation is a gift from God and that we are called to be co-stewards, protecting the earth and its precious resources for today and tomorrow's children. We realize that a key part of the reason we are already facing a catastrophic climate crisis is our failure as a civilization to respect and recognize the integrity of creation. Restoring this balance and understanding the interconnectedness of people and our planet will go a long way towards addressing the twin crises of climate change and biodiversity loss. Around the world, more than 80% of all people identify with a religious faith, and the voices and actions of their leaders have already had an impact in raising awareness, building capacity, and bringing communities together to support the most vulnerable victims of climate change. As governments prepare for the next climate summit, COP27, which will be held on the African continent, it is crucial that we regain the momentum for climate action rooted in the notion of ecological justice and creation care that at some point has been overshadowed by the COVID-19 pandemic and other global crises, including the war in Ukraine. We have no time to lose in prolonged, intangible negotiations. We must demand for political will from duty bearers to turn words into actions to protect humanity and our planet for future generations. Religious actors, locally and globally, can play vital roles in advocating for action to address climate change. The LWF has known this and worked for it steadily since its assembly in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, in 1977. At our last global assembly in Windhoek, Namibia, in 2017, we claimed strongly that, in quote, creation is not for sale. As people of faith, we have huge potentials to strongly mobilize and advocate for climate justice and to call for an end of indifference towards climate change and the suffering that is caused by it. It is our task as churches to be messengers of audacious hope, and we must take the task seriously. To invite people to realize that they are part of the big web of creation, which can only remain intact if we live in harmony with other human beings and with the rest of creation. In some context, it may mean calling people to learn to live more simply so that others may simply live, as Mahatma Gandhi used to say. We continue to collaborate with our partners for the sake of our common beautiful planet Earth, entrusted to our care. I end with a quote from the first African woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize for her undying just environmental activism, the late Professor Wangari Maathai. And I quote, "Nature is so unforgiving. If we destroy it, it will destroy us." End of quote. This, in my view, is a clarion call to all of us for just actions in creation care. Thank you very much.